Now following the Jeep, there's our famous Daimler Dingo armoured car. And what could be a Dingo behind it, in fact it's a Canadian copy of the Dingo, made out in Canada because we couldn't make enough of the Dingoes ourselves in Britain. Over 6,000 Dingoes were made in the Second World War. So we got the Canadians to start making the version of it, the armour body, pretty much the same, but underneath, the actual motor comes from the Ford Motor Company, and they're actually slightly high, you can notice that, slightly heavier, V8 engine under there, it's open-up chassis, and the Canadians made about 3,000 of those. Behind that, another odd-looking vehicle, it's come all the way with the links from Holland to be here. That's something called the Otter. And again, it was a way of trying to get an armoured reconnaissance scouting vehicle into service. So the Otter there has come all the way, it was issued after the war by the Canadians, given across to the Dutch army. They have been in service for quite some time. And again, the Dutch very, very kindly have brought with them the Humber armoured car. We don't have a Humber here running. And the Humber Mark 4 that we've got over there, it's basically got the body of the Guy armoured car on it.
Here comes the big beast, the old Sherman.
Enough of those armoured cars at the beginning of the war, so they handed it over to the Roots group. And Roots used the bodywork, put a slightly different turret on the top, and that accounted, Roots group accounted for about 60% of armoured car production in Britain in World War II. Behind the Humber, there's some of you blokes will recognise the famous old dinky toy one, the Daimler armoured car. Daimler, fantastic vehicle, comes into service in 1941. Very high tech, disc brakes, monocoque body shell that they put the engine in the back, 2-pounder gun, superb wheeled armour, and it can go just as fast backwards as it can forwards. It's actually got a rearward facing steering wheel as well. And then behind that, the Morris armoured car. That was an emergency measure vehicle. You're looking at a vehicle that really basically gets Morris standard vehicle parts. Think of the Morris utility vehicle, and they end up armouring that. Driver sits in the middle, facing forward, and they sometimes fitted a Boy's anti-tank rifle or a Brent gun at the top there in that little turret. Again, behind that, we've got a universal carrier, part of that wonderful British carrier story. This one privately owned, has come along today, and again, used by so many different military units in the Second World War. Huge numbers of carriers ended up being made for the British Army. Overall, probably about 70,000, many made in America, Canada. This is actually a British one. And then another one of those American vehicles you see in all the movies, the M16. This particular one, this is a version of the half-track with the 158 Again, we thought we were going to be air defence, looking after our armoured columns, armoured vehicles. As we all know, the Luftwaffe is basically knocked out of the sky by the RAF and by bombing raids into Germany at the bases. So a lot of these M16 carriers with the 50 caliber machine guns on the back ended up being used for ground attack role, and you've got a lot of punch there with a 50 caliber. And we thought we'd end up as well by bringing on a bit of heavy armour. That's our famous Sherman, the one that was used in the Fury movie. Again, a wonderful bit of American production. That Sherman tank, one of about 49,000 made during the Second World War. This is the model that came in later in the summer of 1944. It didn't see action in Normandy, but it's got a bigger 76mm gun on it. So it gave it much more hitting power. And again, as we all know, that Sherman story starts way back in the 1930s when the Americans are developing subcomponents for vehicles. When they knew they were going to war, they rushed the M3 Grant tank into service. The M4 Sherman is the tank they want, but it took a little bit longer to design. M3 Grant tank put out in about 6 months. That's an amazing design rate. And this particular Sherman, again, as you see all the different marks, they tend to have improvements on them. Thicker armour on this one, that bigger 76mm high velocity gun, and this particular type of suspension, what we call often the Easy 8 HVSS suspension on there. So again, we'll be seeing quite a number of these vehicles later on in the afternoon as part of the display, as part of the battle. But There's a selection there of wheels and some of that lighter tracked armour as well. Fantastic to see this here. And we've got to thank our Dutch friends who have brought over the Otter, you can see there, the slightly odd looking shaped vehicle, basically an armoured truck. The Humber Mark 4, I do apologise, with its 37mm gun, that's the high looking armoured car. They brought those two over along with the Lynx that's in front of the Otter. That look like, it's a little bit like a dingo on steroids, a slightly higher version of the dingo. And why I'm saying thank you to our Dutch friends, they brought all these over, and a bit later on they'll be driving around as well their bathtub vehicle, so you can get a ride in that. And the driver of the bathtub, it's his birthday today, so any young ladies, please go and give him a kiss and wish him happy birthday. All the Dutch crews have come over, they've given up their time for doing this, so thank you very much for them for doing that. And it means that we've got that wonderful presentation of British and Commonwealth armour. This armour, of course, was